Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your weekly update for the Ethereum Technicals and XRP. For the Ethereum Technicals, price has increased, touching resistance around 41.30, moving above prior resistance, now support at 35.80. This last completed week has a very long lower wick. It could be labeled as a hammer candlestick, though for a hammer candlestick we do require bearish confirmation in the following candlestick. Because this week just here is incomplete, we cannot draw any conclusions at this point, though if it does close lower, it may provide that bearish confirmation. Volume is overall supporting upwards movement with the strongest volume on the bullish candlesticks. These recent candlesticks just here showing the strongest volume. A decline for the last completed week may indicate some short-term weakness in downwards movement. ADX now increases with a bullish trend that is not extreme and not yet in danger of ending. This trend may continue to where ADX reaches and remains in extreme or very extreme conditions for a little bit before the trend may be in danger of ending at the weekly time frame. RSI is neutral and declining. We see some strong bearish divergence between RSI and price, where RSI makes lower points while price closes higher. Money flow also neutral and declining. We see the same divergence for money flow that we do with RSI and price, giving a little bit more strength to the divergence, as we now see it on two different indicators. ATR has begun to decline overall as price moves sideways, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility, increasing for the very short term along with price, and previously increasing quite steadily along with price. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme and not in danger of ending, it does expect price to continue upwards to where ADX may reach extreme or very extreme conditions and may remain in those conditions for some time, while RSI and money flow may exhibit double bearish divergence and or enter overbought again before the trend may be in danger of ending at the weekly time frame. On the technical daily chart for Ethereum, we can see more detail for price's recent increase, moving above resistance, now support at both 36.80 and 38.90. Volume overall supports downwards movement with the strongest volume on these bearish candlesticks here, though for the very short term volume is declining, showing some overall continuing weakness for both upwards and downwards movement. ADX continues to decline at the daily time frame, showing no clear trend. It previously reached very extreme conditions, though it did not reach very deeply into very extreme conditions and did not remain there for that long. ATR continues to steadily increase overall along with price, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility at the daily time frame as well. And at the daily time frame for Ethereum, while ADX does not indicate any trend, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance. This model suggests a downward swing may occur at this point towards support at 3200, where price may find that support point when stochastics may enter oversold. It is also possible that the upward swing may continue a little bit above resistance at 4130, where stochastics may enter overbought again, though that is somewhat unlikely at this point, and we will have to wait for price's continued movement between support at 38.90 and resistance up at 41.30 for confidence in either outcome at this particular point. Please note that with this technical data overall for Ethereum, we do prefer the Elliott Wave count, and we rely quite heavily on that for what we expect price to do for the short to mid term. And so if you want an update for that, we have done an update for that today, as we do every Tuesday at pureelliottwave.com. You can sign up for that using the link in the description below. On the XRP weekly chart, price has continued to increase with a very strong push for the last few weeks just here, seeing the final stages of intermediate wave 3 to continue higher. This is all within primary wave 3. At this point, intermediate wave 3 continues upwards with a target calculated at 4.84. This uses the 6.854 ratio between that and intermediate wave 1. Above that, primary wave 3 has a target calculated at 27.44, which is the 14.72 ratio between that and primary wave 1. When it arrives, intermediate wave 4 cannot move into intermediate wave 1 price territory below 0.9301, and we have these Fibonacci durations for intermediate and primary degrees. This may give us a more specific idea for where these waves may be labeled complete. Intermediate wave 3 may end around February 23rd, 2025 if it lasts a Fibonacci 233 days, while primary wave 3 may end around August 18th, 2025 if it lasts a Fibonacci 144 weeks. At this point, we only use these Fibonacci durations as vague ideas for where these waves may be labeled complete, and not as specific numbers like we do with the targets here. This low at the end of minor wave 2 on the weekly chart. Is this low here on the daily chart? We can see more detail for the strong increase for the end of minor wave 3 just here, and now the upwards movement for the final stages of intermediate wave 3 currently within minor and minute fifth waves. With minute wave 4 labeled complete at this last low just here, if it continues any lower, it cannot move into minute wave 1 price territory below 1.541. And with price expected to continue upwards, we will most likely raise the invalidation point to the beginning of minute wave 5 for the next analysis. That invalidation point would be set at 1.9. We have the same targets and Fibonacci durations for intermediate and primary degrees. And with these overlapping third waves, particularly at intermediate and primary degrees, they can only subdivide as impulses. On the technical weekly chart for XRP, we can see some very strong upwards movement for the last few weeks. This last completed week moving lower a little bit. As I mentioned on the Ethereum weekly chart, we can see the similar candlestick here could be labeled as a hammer, though we do require the bearish confirmation, and so for the following video, it may be labeled as a hammer, though at this point it is just seen with a bullish lower wick. Price breaking above all prior resistance, highest resistance previously at 2.0. We have this resistance point at 3.2 where price may continue towards for the short term. Volume overall supports upwards movement with the strongest volume on the bullish candlesticks, the absolute strongest volume on this candlestick here, and a decline for the last completed week may indicate some short-term weakness and downwards movement. ADX continues to increase now with a bullish trend that is not extreme and not yet in danger of ending. This increases quite sharply. ADX may continue to where it may reach and remain extreme or very extreme conditions before the trend may be in danger of ending at the weekly time frame. RSI is overbought, though it does not exhibit any divergence at the weekly time frame. Money flow neutral, having just returned from overbought. Money flow does not exhibit any divergence either. ATR has steadily and very steeply increased along with price for the very short term, giving a strong bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme and not in danger of ending, it does expect price to continue upwards. The trend may continue to where ADX reaches and may remain in extreme or very extreme conditions, while RSI and money flow may exhibit some divergence and or enter overbought again before the trend may be in danger of ending at the weekly time frame. This supports the Elliott Wave count at this point. On the technical daily chart for XRP, we can see more detail for price's recent increase, a little bit of sideways movement for the very short term as price declines, finding support around 2 with this hammer candlestick here. Volume is overall declining for the very short term, though we do see some pushes in bullish candlesticks, particularly this one here and these two just here. This may see some short-term support for upwards movement, though volume is overall declining from the recent push on this last strong bullish candlestick here. ADX is now declining at the daily timeframe, showing no clear trend. It previously reached and remained in very extreme conditions for quite a little bit. At the daily timeframe, this may indicate a deeper correction. RSI is neutral and declining, though we do have some bearish divergence between RSI and price, where the indicator makes lower pivots while price closes higher. Money flow is also neutral and declining. We have double bearish divergence between money flow and price, where this indicator makes lower pivots twice here, while price closes higher. ATR has steadily increased along with price declining for the short term as price increases for the very short term without support from volume and without the trend from ADX. This gives an overall bullish outlook for volatility, though a slight bearish outlook for the very short term. And as ADX declines at the daily time frame for XRP, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance. This model suggests a downward swing may occur at this point towards support at 2 or potentially down to 1.34, where price finds one of these support points, while stochastics may enter oversold. In correlation to the Elliott Wave count, this may suggest that intermediate wave 4 could arrive sooner than expected, though at this point we do place more weight in the Elliott Wave count, particularly for cryptocurrencies like XRP and Ethereum. That's all for me with your weekly update for XRP and the Ethereum Technicals. As I previously mentioned in the video, if you do want the Ethereum Elliott Wave count, we've done an update for that today. You can sign up for that using the link in the description below at pureelliottwave.com. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good week.